begin, I will make a brief introduction. VPlane Actor is the module responsible for projections and overlays of static video sources from a static camera, using a 2.5D projection approach. The technology used in VPlane Actor allows you to project a video source in 2.5D in a dynamic geometry, in such a way that it is adjustable at the ground level. For example, you will have control to adjust the ground level in relation to your subject's ankles, which allows you to adjust the contact point with the ground. This is very important to achieve realistic shadows that begin at this contact point, and also allow them to be visible and emit realistic reflections in your virtual scene, and all this without any artifacts caused by Unreal Engine when using its anti-aliasing system like TAANTSR, which is often known as the ghosting effect, so you will have a clean, professional output, whether for virtual production or game development. Each VPlane Actor integrates its own keying system, reinforced by a 2D clean plate approach, ensuring an independent workflow. For each instance, you can create virtual camera animations in the sequencer freely without being limited by the visual field of a tracked camera. VPlane Actor is a real object living in a virtual scene, completely different from the Composure approach, which is based on layer composition with no existence in the virtual scene. This allows for an interactive 3D composition that interacts with a virtual environment, whether it's ambient light, 3D position in space, casting shadows, and being visible in reflections. Each VPlane Actor accepts up to 3840 by 2160 pixels, equivalent to a UHD 4K format, with minimal performance loss or FPS drop, ensuring optimal optimization and compatibility with different technologies such as TSR and NVIDIA's DLSS. So without further ado, let's now discover VPlane Actor. So, to find VPlane Actor, I have two options. The first is through the Place Actors panel by clicking on the VSuite category, and I will also find it directly in the VSuite category or via Quickly Add to Project. I find it here via the VSuite category. As you can see here, we will just click and add it to the scene, and there it is. My VPlane is created. So, I will start adding the video source. For now, I will use a local video source in MP4 format. You can also do it via Blackmagic or Aja capture card, whether it's a live source via an SDI or HDMI connection, or even an NDI source, it's the same process. To begin, first, I will activate VPlane reference in the V settings. This will allow me to see my projection and calibrate it in relation to the ground. So I continue. I will create a folder here. I will name it Media. In this folder, I will create a media player. I will check Video Output Media Texture. I click OK. So there it is. My media player is created with a texture. This texture will allow me to have the video texture in my VPlane Actor. I save everything, and now I will look for my video source. Click Save. So, for now, I will double-click on Media Player and double-click on the video source. And as you can see here, click on Loop to make my video play continuously, and to maintain the active stream in the texture, I won't close this window, I'll just minimize it. Now, I'm going to select my VPlane. I'll proceed to vMedia Input. You can see that I have my video source settings here. I can choose between a full HD, 2K, 4K, or even 8K resolution at this point. Proceed with caution since the 8K resolution uses a lot of resources. You must optimize your scene and choose what would work best for your situation. And I also have custom resolution. If I have a different resolution than the one offered here in the selector, I will revert to a 4K resolution, because if I double-click here, the texture is in UHD 3840 by 2160 pixels. And of course, don't forget to check Enable Bitmap Generation and set it to 11 to get the optimal rendering of the video source. Here I can choose the media type. The media type contains 3 categories or 3 types. The first is Chroma Key, which means that the video source I will use will be keyable via the internal keying system. The second option is pre-keyed media. This allows the video source, if it has an alpha channel already pre-keyed by After Effects or Nuke, to use this alpha channel directly in the projection without going through the internal Chroma Key system. The third option is Key and Fill. If I choose this option, I will have 2 inputs, the first for the fill, the second is for the key. This is very important. For example, if I have a scenario where I want to work with an external keyer like Ultimate from Blackmagic, I need to work with two video sources, the first for the fill and the second for the key. So here, I can directly choose my video source after configuring my capture card, the first video source for fill, the second for the key, and like that, I can use an external keyer in my VPlane projection. Now, I will return to the first option, Chroma Key, because I will use the internal Chroma Key option of VPlane, knowing that each VPlane is an independent instance, managing its own keyer, independently from the other VPlanes. Now, I will drag and drop new media textures, and as you can see here, now I have the video source projected into the small VPlane cyclo. Now, I will tackle the other options like invert alpha. This will allow you to invert the alpha channel. This is very important if I have an alpha option and need to invert the alpha channel. So this is where you do it. The is tall option allows you to orient your projection, whether portrait or landscape. Of course, flip landscape is used to reorient the projection to landscape mode and flip portrait to reorient to portrait mode if necessary. I will keep is tall disabled because my video source is in landscape mode, and I will uncheck receive light because I don't want my video source to receive ambient light. Now I will start working on my Chroma Key. For that, I will click on Chroma Key. So for now, I will double click on this source. As you can see here, I have the key color. So I will just click and choose my chroma, and there it is. I will minimize the window. As you can see here, it's starting to show results. So I will start working on the chroma. You will notice here that there is a clean plate module, an option to take a snapshot of the clean plate. So I will try to find when my cyclorama is clean. To do that, I will just wait for the right moment to pause my video. I think it will be around this part. There it is. I pause my video, and I have a moment when my cyclo is clean. Now, I'm going to snap a picture of the green screen background right now. And there it is. Now, my clean plate is active. So, I will make a few adjustments. For example, here in the Luma log bound parameter, I will increase it. So, as you can see here, in comparison to the last keyer, I have an improved one, but it still needs some adjustments to have a better key result. The first thing I will do, before continuing, is try to align my projection to ground level. So, just an explanation, this is a projection, and as you can see here, my shadow starts where my actor's feet begin. So, I will try to click on this small diamond and lower the projection to the point where I see it sufficient for me to have a correct result. There it is. As you can see here, now I have a more or less correct shadow, but I still need to rework my cyclo. Now, I will disable this reference image by going to V settings and unchecking VPlane reference, and there it is. Now, I will start reworking my chroma a bit more. I go back to V Chroma Key tab, and I will increase my clean plate threshold. So before that, I will just pause my video media player to be able to work with my Chroma Key. I think it's enough. Now I will increase my threshold and decrease my Luma log bound to remove the remaining shadows, like this. That's perfect. Now I need to reinforce my Chroma Key. So I will adjust the chroma contrast. As you can see here, I think 50 is a good value. I will deactivate facing to camera for now. As you can see here, I have a professional quality keyer. I will restart my video to see the final quality. So, another tip to increase the clarity of the video, I can apply an unsharp mask filter here in the VKeyer section. So, I can choose a value for unsharp amount. I will choose a value of 5, already tested. I see that it's really ideal for this scenario. So, as you can see here, there is a big difference in quality. No degradation and no artifacts like the ghosting effect. So, as you can see here, the quality is really extraordinary. and it will allow me to have a virtual composition, regardless of the camera angle. And my shadow starts exactly where it should. You have here the erode mask. If you need to apply an erode effect or soften the edges, you can also decide whether your actor receives ambient light. In this case, it does not receive ambient light. For example, if I place a light in my scene, it will not receive this light. But it can emit soft shadows as you see in a realistic way. And if I want my actor to receive ambient light, I will click on my VPlane, go to vMedia Input, and activate Receive Light. As you can see, now my actor receives light from my spotlight. So if I change the color, my actor will be affected by this color. So easily, you can create professional quality effects on your 3D composition without degradation or artifacts like the ghosting effect. A very important thing that I haven't mentioned earlier is the edge color. The edge color allows you to change the color or tint the edge of the silhouette rather than losing details by using an excessive erode. As you can see here, I can completely control my edge to choose a background color to mix my subject with the background. This is very important because it allows you to keep the detail of soft shadows without eliminating them. So that's all for now regarding VPlane Actor. We will create more videos for you with other tips, and we will cover other topics. Now, let's tackle the VScreen Actor.